how many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. I am joined by my co-host, co-founder, Marco Enriquez. What's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Ready to do some rookie mocks, getting excited about that. And then we're basically in redraft season, which is really exciting.
I mean, we don't have redraft content planned. Like, I know what the schedule is. It's not planned for like 3 weeks, but yeah, basically the same.
But we can start thinking about it, which is good.
Yeah. We're at the point, guys. Obviously, we're doing a Superflex rookie mock. Marco and I are going to be alternating picks. So no computer automated picks here.
Suck it, sleeper.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is good because it's the first taste of a real mock. Like, it is a real draft now. This matters. We have all of the pieces of the puzzle. So this is where it actually makes sense to do a mock draft, even though we've done like 6 since January. But this is where I think they really matter now, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, and I feel like a lot of the times, right, I mean, this is the time of the season where if you are consuming different kinds of fantasy, dynasty, rookie content, anything like that, you're typically like looking for rookie mocks. You want to read these articles. This is going to be kind of that, what Justin and I would expect a rookie mock article to look like, but we get to give it to you in video or audio form. So you don't have to read a giant article and you can just see, hey, what would these guys do and why are they going to do it? And we're going to give it to you in a video, which is even better than having to read an article.
Yeah, I mean, it's YouTube, Marco. They know it's a video.
This is
all right,
a video.
guys.
This is a video format.
Shut the hell up. All right, before we get into it, guys, remember to check out the 14 Personnel Patreon page. We got 3 tiers over there. $2 a month. You can support us. You get to take part in our Q&A videos that we run monthly over on Patreon. For $5, you get our Dynasty rankings, our tiered rookie rankings, which right now, just even if you do it 1 month, pay $5, get rankings. They're good, I think. You also get, tiered Dynasty rankings. You'll get redraft rankings.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a draft kit later in June.
Yep.
You'll get access to that as well. And then the $9 tier, we will give you a personalized Dynasty breakdown of your team. And then we're working on some other things to add to those tiers to kind of build out that Patreon a little bit further. So check that out, guys. The link is down in the bio. Subscribe to us. That's cool. You ready?
You don't have to subscribe to us, but you can follow us.
Yeah, that's good. That's good too. You ready? Okay, I'm going to assume your no answer is a yes. All right, guys. So here it is, a 12-team Superflex mock draft. All right, Marco, I'm going to give you the first pick. I'll let you make the decision here. Who is going 101?
Yeah, the decision, right? In air quotes. It's obviously Breece Hall. We've been talking about this for a while.
Wow.
Was that sleeper?
Yeah, okay. I gotta shut off the audio. That's okay. Well,
okay, so shut off the audio. But no, it's obviously Breece Hall. We'll keep it brief. He is the best player in this draft. It's really easy. In Superflex leagues, pre-draft and post-draft, I was saying, and I think you were too, Justin. It was Breece Hall over any of the quarterbacks, and especially now after the draft, seeing what the quarterback situation was and what the NFL thinks of these quarterbacks, which was accurate, I think. Yeah, this was the pick. There's no other real questions. Breece Hall is in a tier of his own for me. It obviously with running backs, but also just when you look at the draft, there's 101 and then you have 102 through like 106, 107, 108, depending what you think of some of those guys at that fringe level.
Yep, I'm with you. So I'll take the 102 here. I'm looking at 4 names and nobody else. I'm looking at Kenneth Walker, Traylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, Drake London. I think those are the fairly obvious guys that should be on your radar. For me, I am a running back early guy. I will always draft running back, trade for wide receiver. That's typically my strategy, especially early in a rookie draft. So give me Kenneth Walker. Again, in Seattle, he's not going to catch a ton of passes. That's fine. They're building up the line again. They're going to fix the offense eventually. It just may not be fun this year.
Yeah, I don't hate that. The idea of them fixing the line, I think they've been saying that for like 5 years. So I don't think that that's actually going to happen. But
they took a first round tackle. They're making
true.
steps.
That's true. They're trying, right? But yeah, I think Kenneth Walker is definitely in that tier of, that next 3 or 4 guys that you mentioned. For me, I would go wide receiver, but I like the Kenneth Walker pick here too. It's not bad.
All right, 103. What are you doing?
I am going, and I know this is probably where we're going to dissent as well. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson. He is still my wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. I like his quarterback situation. I like his team. I like the offense overall as a whole. And I think he's the best wide receiver in the class, just pure talent.
Okay, so yeah, you're correct. We fully disagree here. My 101 at wide receiver is Drake London. For me,
he's my 2.
Yeah. Drake London is just a physical freak in every sense of the word. He steps in now with a tandem of him and Kyle Pitts, possibly the most physically imposing 1-2 punch in the NFL. And yes, he doesn't have a quarterback right now. Technically he does, but we all know what's coming next season.
Yeah.
I don't believe Desmond Ridder is going to be the answer. I don't think he's very good. I think it's a top quarterback next year, with Drake London basically being the funnel for that offense and, seeing 140 plus targets, I think, potentially in year 1. Yeah. And I don't think you see that from Garrett Wilson, especially early on. Yeah,
that's totally fair. That's totally fair. Drake London's volume will definitely be higher. So I get that.
Yeah. All right, man. What are you doing at 5 here? This is, I think after 5, it gets interesting.
Yeah. So 5 for me, it's Treylon Burks. I comped him to AJ Brown in the offseason scouting process. And he literally was apparently the NFL also thought he was AJ Brown, or the Titans did. And because they traded away AJ Brown for Treylon Burks to fill the AJ Brown role. So he's going to thrive in this offense. It's literally meant for his exact skill set. And he's another guy who could be, he's not going to see 140 targets because that offense isn't that, but he's going to see AJ Brown level targets, 120 to 130 targets, I think is in his range of outcomes. Maybe that might be his ceiling, but I think that's definitely what we can kind of expect. And he is the yak guy that AJ Brown was. Maybe not in year 1, but he's definitely built that way.
Yeah. I don't know if he gets to the 120 in his rookie season. It took AJ Brown 3 years to get there, but again, it's in his range of outcomes. I think you nailed that.
Yep.
As far as upside goes, he is up there with Wilson and Drake London. It's obviously I prefer the other 2.
This is the tier break for that second group.
This is the tier break for me here. 2 through 5, and then 6 is where I think you're still looking at wide receiver. At this point, I'm not even considering Kenny Pickett. I'm not sure as hell not considering Malik Willis. I think what I'm looking here, God, having to sort through these names is a pain. I'm taking Jameson Williams over Chris Olave. I think Jameson Williams is a better wide receiver. I think the upward trajectory, or at least his upside, is higher. Again, Chris Olave is a good wide receiver. I think he fits well with Jameis Winston. I just don't see the traits I need to say, man, Chris Olave can be a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. I think Jameson Williams carries that, and that's really the difference for me here.
Yeah, we agree on Chris Olave. I mean, I've said it in a couple of videos. I think he's going to be a very good NFL player. He's not that top 5 guy. So I like that pick quite a bit. I think Jameson Williams, I'm a little bit lower on him than most. But again, as long as you're not needing him to get you points this year, he's going to be a phenomenal player.
You're drafting him for year 2, for 2023, to be honest. If you're not taking him expecting immediate production, which is what Chris Olave is going to give you.
Yeah, that's totally fair. And this, you might not agree here. I'm also not going Chris Olave.
What the? Okay.
Because if you look at my wide receiver rankings, nothing really changed for me with the long-term outlook here. And this is obviously Dynasty. So I'm going George Pickens.
I hate this.
No. And I think here's the thing. Similar to Jameson Williams and like John Mechie, who will be, next round, he is not going to get you a ton of value this year. Deontay Johnson, even though he says he wants to be a Steeler, he's a free agent after this season.
Yeah, who knows?
And Chase Claypool is, what I've been saying, not that good. I think he's like enormously overrated. So no matter who the quarterback is, whether it be Mitch Trubisky, whether Kenny Pickett works out, George Pickens looks like he could be at least the wide receiver 2, and he could potentially be the wide receiver 1 there next year.
Yeah, I'll say this. So I'm not taking him over Olave, but I agree with everything you said. As in,
I get that.
This is a pick for 2023 as well for them, because either Deontay Johnson is gone or George Pickens probably replaces and outclasses Chase Claypool at what he does. Again, I think Pickens is phenomenal. He was my wide receiver 5 coming in.
Yep.
Chris Olave jumped him strictly on the draft capital
That's
aspect
fair.
there. So for me, I'm going to go with Chris Olave. And there he is.
Yeah, and I think normally I would be with you with the draft capital thing, but I think for me, the reason he was picked late wasn't talent, or I don't even think it was injuries as much.
It's maturity. It's
It
maturity.
was maturity, and I think he landed with the one of the very few organizations that I think will hopefully get him in line. The Steelers just have the history of developing these guys, and we know wide receivers are divas in general, and the Steelers haven't had too many issues outside of like Martavis Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're at to 109. It was going to be an hour-long video, guys, so just stick around. It's going to be a minute.
No, we'll go faster once we get through these top guys, I'm sure.
What are you doing at 109, Marco?
So this is interesting. So I'm actually going to
Don't do what I think you're going to do.
I don't think I am going to do what you think I'm going to do.
Okay, good.
We'll see.
Look at that communication.
yeah, beautiful communication. I'm going Sky Moore.
Okay, good. I like that.
Yeah, did you think I was going to go running back?
I 100% thought you were going to pick Isaiah Spiller, and I was going to punch you through the screen.
I love Isaiah Spiller, even though the draft capital sucked. I do like the landing spot. We'll talk about him later, but
yeah,
I'm going Sky Moore. Sky Moore is literally, I mean, in a little bit of a different order. He's the next wide receiver on my list here. Post draft, he's obviously in a phenomenal situation. And he's I think he's ended up being like the second best route runner of this class.
He's phenomenal.
And yeah, it's him and Juju and I guess Justin Ross now. But I think it's really him and Juju are the guys there. And I think he's really, really long-term meant to be the wide receiver one for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get to 110 here, and this is based on team need. The first time I'm going to consider Kenny Pickett. I think you can look at him here, and if you are desperate at quarterback, you need a third starter or a second guy, I don't mind taking Kenny Pickett at 110. Is it my optimal move? No, not even a little bit.
No.
I think realistically, you're looking at Christian
110
Watson.
is definitely you're right, though. 110 is the first spot where I would even consider it.
Yeah, and I think Christian Watson, who is an athletic freak, landing with the Packers is extremely interesting. My RB3 is still on the board here. But just again, we've talked about upside. I am going to take Christian Watson. Again, the Packers traded up to get him. Aaron Rodgers was bitching up a storm saying, get me a wide receiver or I'll retire. I'll do it. I'm angry. So they went out, they got Christian Watson, and I think that speaks volumes. I expect big things from him. It's just a matter of, is he too raw? And that's something I can't personally say yet. Aaron Rodgers is going to decide that one for us.
Yeah, no, I agree. If he wasn't with Rodgers, it would be he'd have to go lower. But all right, so I can keep us moving here. I again, like you said, 110 is the first place. I'm considering Kenny Pickett. I'm just going to go Kenny Pickett at 111.
I like that
because basically, even before Christian Watson, you're left with a bunch of skill players who have a lot of potential outcomes that I'm not sure are like, okay, I think they can for sure do it. Like there's a lot of the guys ahead, like Sky Moore and above. Those guys are all going to succeed to some level in the NFL. That's it in my eyes. I think pick 10 is where you first get that question mark. So I'm going to go Kenny Pickett because I do think he is the starter by like week 8 in the season.
Yeah, we know what Mitch is. And a lot of people probably put Christian Watson in that tier with Sky Moore in them. I don't blame them, honestly. I do think he has a very, very valid conversation or a very, very valid argument to be there. So I don't blame anybody for having him up there. But as we go to pick 12 here, this is where, again, I know Jahan Dotson's there, the last of the first round wide receivers. I'm not doing it. I am going to take my RB3.
I knew it.
I'm gladly taking Rachaad White there. Here's the thing. Him and Isaiah Spiller are both high-level handcuffs leaving the draft, right? Obviously, Rachaad White is behind Leonard Fournette. And who else am I talking about? I'm losing it already.
Keyshawn Vaughn right now. But
Isaiah Spiller, I'm saying, is with the Chargers. Sorry.
Oh.
And both of them have the opportunity to become RB1s should the starter go down. Rachaad White has the draft capital. That is enough for me as a tiebreaker to take him over Isaiah Spiller. And, even James Cook, I'm not really buying into a ton of James Cook, although he is my RB4 ahead of Spiller as well.
Yeah, so I do have James Cook as my RB5, so I'm going to go Isaiah Spiller here.
Yep, I figured you would.
So I really love the landing spot for Isaiah Spiller. Obviously, the draft capital, it is an enormous red flag. It needs to be mentioned. I'm not ignorant of that, but that's the reason why I'm taking him in the second round instead of a top 5, top 8 pick. So I think Isaiah Spiller, like you said, he's one bad week from Austin Eckler, where Austin Eckler goes down away from becoming an RB1 in fantasy, just because we know the other running backs on that team.
Joshua Kelly, he's alive still.
The other running backs on that team are just horrible. Like, no matter how much the Chargers want to have a running back that is good behind Austin Eckler, they haven't been able to figure it out. I think they finally figured it out. He's not incredible, maybe, but I think he's going to be a very good player. And he's a perfect complement to Austin Eckler and what that team wants to do. And they added Zion Johnson in the first round, so they've definitely beefed up that offensive line a little bit more. So between the tackles, I think Isaiah Spiller could be nice, even as a handcuff, potentially more if Eckler were to go down.
That's what he is, I think. 150 touches this year, unless something terrible happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he steps in. So for me, this spot's weird. Again, I'm looking at Jahan Dotson. I still
take him, so I don't have to.
I don't want to. I'm taking James Cook for that exact reason, because I don't want to take Jahan Dotson. James Cook, again, he steps into Buffalo. I think there's plenty of questions about what his actual role ends up being. Buffalo has not thrown the ball to the running back at all with Josh Allen. Again, they tried to bring in J.D. McKissick. He bailed. They bring in James Cook to fill that role. So maybe we see a shift in offense potentially, especially with them not really adding a high-profile wide receiver in this draft. And I do think James Cook is just flat out better than Devin Singletary. It's just a matter of if Sean McDermott is okay to give him the reins. I don't know if that happens. So he's a weird nebulous there, even though he went in the second round. I want to be more confident in James Cook, but I'm not. You have to acknowledge the upside, which is why, again, him going 2-2 is probably the lowest you're going to see him. I think a lot of other drafts, he's going much higher, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, what's the earliest you'd take him?
Probably 110.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
For me,
we started questioning quarterback, right?
Yeah, if Rashad White is there, I'm taking Rashad White over James Cook. I think he's a better running back. So
yeah, me too.
That's why I'll never probably land James Cook at 110 or whatever else it is, because he's going ahead of Rashad White in most drafts.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, I'm not going Jahan Dotson. I'm going to go with the guy who I still have ahead of Jahan Dotson, even though he didn't get the same exact draft capital. I'm going John Mechie.
Ooh, wow. Okay, I got to dig for that one.
You got to go a little deeper. So John Mechie was my wide receiver 5 going into the draft. He dropped down to my wide receiver 6, so he did drop one spot. But here's the deal with Mechie. Brandon Cooks is the only receiver that you really need to be worried about, and not even really that, because John Mechie's not going to play the Brandon Cooks role. He's not going to play early in the season this year, but this is a team that needs help literally everywhere on the field. And so next year, I'm not really worried about them adding enough wide receivers where Mechie's not going to be involved. I think Mechie is a very good player. Might take him a little bit of time, but I think he is a long-term answer for a nice slot wide receiver for them. And I think he's going to actually get quite a bit of targets in this offense led by Davis Mills.
I can't get behind John Mechie over Jahan Dotson personally.
Well, Jahan Dotson's situation, people get excited about it. It's awful.
I'm not excited about the situation, but I like Jahan Dotson more as a player than I do John Mechie. John Mechie's ceiling is just wildly capped because he lives in the slot. I mean, that is just a fact of the matter. I think slot receivers that play like 60% of the time in the slot have like a 2% hit rate as far as like finishing as a wide receiver 1 at one point in their career.
Well, and that's fair, but I'm also not trying to draft. I don't think I'm looking for wide receiver 1s at 2-3, and I don't think Jahan Dotson will ever be a wide receiver 1.
I can't. I'm taking Jahan Dotson here just to prove a point. And I don't love Jahan Dotson, but this late, I am gonna gladly take the guy that went in the first over John Mechie. Personally, I know you love Mechie. I am not in lockstep with you on that one. Usually, I am.
To me, Dotson, he's a lazy route runner. He's not super efficient as a wide receiver, and he's on an offense where he's second at best, probably realistically third. In an offense currently led by Carson Wentz, sure, that could change, but there's just not a lot of exciting options for Jahan Dotson.
Houston's led by Davis Mills.
Jahan Dotson is on the Washington Commanders.
I said Houston for John Mechie.
I think Davis Mills is better than every single quarterback who was in this draft by a good margin. So I'm okay with Davis Mills.
Okay. Okay. What are you doing at 2.5 here?
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm considering Trey McBride at 2.5. It's a little early for him, but I think he's definitely a tight end who's going to see success in the NFL. I'm going to go Trey McBride. I will do it. I like his situation. Obviously, this year he's battling Zach Ertz, but with rookie tight ends, you're not really looking for a ton of success in year one. And so as long as you know that you believe in his talent and you believe in his prospect profile and his production profile, which I think a lot of people do, I think he's in a perfect situation to succeed in the long term.
Yeah, I like Trey McBride. Tight end premium, I'm probably considering him, 2-1, 2-2, a couple spots earlier.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. At 2.6 here, there's 3 guys I'm looking at. I'm looking at Malik Willis finally.
Yep.
I am looking at David Bell.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure one that people are waiting for us to pick is Dameon Pierce. So I will end his slide here.
Boo.
It's just an you hate the Houston offense now?
No, I just don't think Dameon Pierce is like anything.
I don't think he's very good. I agree with that. This is an opportunity pick. This is one where I'm going to take him knowing someone else will probably look to trade for him early in training camp. That is what I'm doing here, and I hate doing that in rookie drafts. But if Dameon Pierce falls this late, and trust me, he's probably not, I'll gladly scoop him at 2.6.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's fair.
But he's not good, guys. Just be aware of that. I want everybody to understand this.
Yeah,
he will be irrelevant.
He's fine.
Season. Yeah. Fine is the perfect word.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'm going to go Malik Willis. I'm going to take him. Again, you're not going to probably see him on the field in any consistent manner for 2 years, which is a significant years. Yeah. But I do kind of like him learning behind Ryan Tannehill, because one of the knocks on Willis is that he's inconsistent with his accuracy. He has really nice moments of accuracy, but it's not consistent. Mm-hmm. And I think Tannehill is actually a perfect guy to come in and kind of teach him some of the finer points of being a true quarterback rather than just a freak athlete where he can beat everyone and all of the accountants he's facing.
Athletically destroy them.
Right, exactly. So I think Malik Willis is in a good situation to succeed if the organization commits to him for the long term. So
yeah, I am with you on that. And then for me at 2.8, this is easy. David Bell. David Bell is a guy that has just continued to slip in drafts. And here's the thing. He is better than Donovan Peoples-Jones. I like Donovan Peoples-Jones, but not more than David Bell. And the whole knock of him being slow, spoiler, David Bell was slow in college too, and he was still really freaking good. It doesn't matter. He played in the Big Ten. He was good. His quarterback is going to be Deshaun Watson for his career, at least early. David Bell is one of my favorite sleepers in this draft. Him and like Jalen Tolbert are 2 guys I have been trying to scoop up late in the second round in every damn draft.
Well, that's going to make you really happy because I'm picking Jalen Tolbert right now.
I love Jalen Tolbert.
What?
I love Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah. He's in a really good, nice situation to succeed. I think Michael Gallup's going to be really slow to get back on the field and even be close to 100%. So I think it's going to be the CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert role. I don't know. I've been hearing some rumblings that CeeDee might want to, they might use him in the slot a lot. I don't think that's going to be the case, but I think he will play in the slot more than Tolbert because Tolbert won't do it. And so I think Tolbert could be a nice piece in this offense to fill a lot of targets that are ceded to him from the loss of Amari Cooper.
I am 100% with you. All right. Now at this point, it's weird.
There's one other guy that I'm for sure going with, but
it's Tyler Algier.
It is not, but
I figured it was.
I do like him as like an okay option, but not right now. There's one other guy.
For me, I'm going back to quarterback here. I am taking Matt Corral.
That's fair. I like that.
He starts popping up right here at 210 is what I've seen in a lot of drafts. Some people reach on him earlier. I'm not doing that. 210 is where I'm going to consider Matt Corral, and if all of these guys are gone, he is my pick there. Again, 3rd rounder. Sam Darnold is terrible. Matt Corral, if he can get fully healthy, will play this year. Sam Darnold's bad. That's the thing. So you will know what you have in Matt Corral pretty early on, I think. And for, at 210 in a Superflex league to get quarterback depth that has, tangible upside, I'm happy with that.
I think Matt Corral could have the most productive rookie season of all these quarterbacks if he gets on the field or if he can get healthy. I think he landed. What'd you say?
the weapons are insane.
Yeah, similar to Pickett, where like he can throw the ball anywhere, like and
Yeah.
someone good will be there. So I think Matt Corral's in a perfect situation to win here. I'm gonna go Khalil Shakir with 211. He
I'm just gonna
is
search him. I don't want to go that far down.
yeah, he's not insanely far down, but I know some people are taking him in the third round, and
Yeah.
I mean
That's
we
where he
just had a
belongs.
draft where I got him off free agency, but because we only had a 3-round draft, but Khalil Shakir is going to immediately fill the slot role on this team. He might, he's going to be behind Jamison Crowder. Jamison
Yeah.
Crowder's been healthy for like 12 minutes of his entire career. So here's the thing: Jamison Crowder is going to be fine as long as he can stay healthy, but that he can't do that. And I think Khalil Shakir is a long-term phenomenal prospect, and he's in a team or on a team that passes the ball 600 plus times a game. He's going to get the ball. He's going to be a PPR monster, not wide receiver 1 territory, but I think he could definitely fight for a consistent wide receiver 2.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I don't I don't buy into the slot guys too much. I think personally,
but we're at the end of the second round of a rookie draft.
There's someone I much rather prefer over Khalil Shakir.
Don't do Alec Pierce.
And it is Alec Pierce. No, I don't think Alec Pierce is some wonder talent. However, he's enormous. A team that lacks true red zone targets. Again, Michael Pittman's big, but he's not a red zone target. I mean, that is just a part of his profile. Alec Pierce gives them that in the red zone. You have a huge upgrade in Matt Ryan. Again, do I expect Alec Pierce to go for 1,000 yards and like 80 catches? No. However, his rookie season, it's very, very possible. He puts up, 60 for 750 and 6 or 7 touchdowns. And I think that gives him an interesting profile. And again, he has the body type that can dominate in the NFL. I don't think he ever actually gets there. But like you said, this late, I'm trying to pick and choose gems you can kind of find late and almost convince myself to take any of these guys.
Yeah, that's fair. He's one of the guys who there's literally nothing about him that's exciting to me.
Big.
Except, he's big, like
he's really big.
Yeah. I cannot watch him and be like, oh yeah, he's going to be good.
I don't blame anybody for just tuning out at this point. I don't care about I don't genuinely care about really anybody left.
Well, okay, so 3-1, we can burn through this third round fast. 3-1, I'm going Desmond Ridder. He's going to get immediate playing time, and he's Marcus Mariota plus if he can develop a little bit.
Do you see the picture of him that he looks like he's 50?
Yes, so he's a 45-year-old Marcus Mariota.
I don't know if he gets on the field this year. I like Marcus Mariota. I do.
Well, here's the thing. I do too, but that's why I think Desmond Ridder is going to be fine in this offense. Is because he's literally Marcus Mariota, but a little bit. If he gets a little bit of development, he could be better.
That's fair. Next for me, this one is easy. Where is he? Tyler Algier.
Yeah,
Mike Davis is gone. Tyler Algier is basically young Mike Davis, as in he's super average at everything and he's not athletic. Okay, that's great, but there's opportunity with running backs. Take your 1 year of Tyler Algier because he's going to be irrelevant next season, is my guess. However, I will always lean. I tend to lean running back opportunity late in drafts, and the reason is what's happening pretty quickly with them. Yeah. You don't have to hold on for 2-3 years. It either kind of happens in year 1 or he's bench fodder and you can trade him out. Who cares? So I'm happy to take Tyler Algier there.
So we should probably mention a lot of people probably would have wanted Wan'Dale Robinson to go in the second round.
No.
He's just historically, he's 5'8", I think or just barely 5'8". Historically, they just don't succeed. And so like he was an okay prospect to me as just watching the film and watching what he does, but just he's not going to be able to succeed in the NFL. You're in the third round. Don't go shooting for wide receiver draft wide receiver darts here. So I'm going to go with my pick. I didn't even realize we didn't draft him yet. I guess I'll go Brian Robinson.
I like it. I like Tyler Algier over him, but I like Brian Robinson here.
Yeah, I like Tyler Algier over him as well, but I think Brian Robinson, he's one of those guys who's like Rachaad White and Isaiah Spiller. He's going to be a really nice handcuff. He doesn't have their skill set. That's why he's going in the third round. But if Gibson were to get hurt, Brian Robinson will get all the early work.
He reminds me, and not necessarily play style, but how he's going to get points. He reminds me of Gus Edwards. He's not going to catch the ball a ton. he's just gonna run it down your throat and make it hurt. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
Yeah.
Don't like how that came out, but that's a bummer. Well, we're just gonna move on to the next pick. At 3-4 here, I'm just gonna take Sam Howell again. We
Same
talked
thing.
about it. Sam Howell has as good of a chance to see the field as any of the other 4 quarterbacks because we talked about it. Is Carson Wentz a good quarterback? No, not at all. He's good for fantasy, but he's a terrible real life quarterback. Sam Howell very well could get on the field if Carson Wentz is bad, which is likely, or if he gets hurt, which is also likely.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go Zamir White because I think he is probably one of their lead running backs next year, and he might mix in a little bit this year with Josh Jacobs, but
I don't know if he survives into next year.
Right. Next year's class is so crazy, but I can't see the Raiders going, great, we want to draft more, like a ton more early round running backs. So I don't know if they're going to add running backs that are going to say, Zamir White, you're nothing next year. You know what I mean? Like he's going to be involved to some degree next year.
That is very fair. This one here, I am scrolling down the list a little bit. I am taking Jelani Woods.
That's who I was going to take next.
Probably he's the only other tight end worth drafting in a non-tight end premium league. Again, this goes to the Colts needing weapons. Do I think he is a star year one? No, of course not. He's a tight end. But the athleticism, there's enough tools there for him to develop into potentially, one of the more exciting tight ends just based on pure athleticism. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops, the next couple of years here.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Keontae Ingram here. And I'm going Keontae Ingram because he's pretty low. I think you passed him already. So Keontae Ingram, the biggest knock on Keontae Ingram was that his production profile got worse at college, but he was behind Bijan Robinson, or Bijan Robinson, or however you pronounce that guy's name.
Attaboy. Top prospect next year. That's good.
Yeah, just don't worry about it. No, but I mean that's why, because one of the most incredible running back prospects that we've seen in a very long time came in and took his job. He's a very good player. And I think in the NFL, he won't be very good, but he's good enough to easily be a James Conner handcuff. And James Conner is notoriously a guy who has issues. So I think Keontae Ingram at some point could get a couple games to himself. And I think he's going to do pretty well.
Yep, absolutely. All right. I am picking here, and I saw somebody I wanted on this list that I missed. Where'd they go? Where did you go? Tyrion Davis-Price.
Ugh.
He's not good. However,
he's like Trey Sermon, but he might actually be worse.
Yeah, he's this pick confused the crap out of me when it actually happened in the NFL. However, this late, if I'm taking dart throws at running backs, I will take the one with 3rd round draft capital. I still firmly believe this is Elijah Mitchell's job. Davis-Price is pretty irrelevant to me, but at pick 3-8, all the quarterbacks are gone. The 2 tight ends I like are gone. I'm going to stick with that strategy of taking dart throws on running backs first.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that going. I'm going to go Jerome Ford.
Love it.
I think if you're getting him late 3rd, why not take a shot on a guy who's on a team that needs to run the ball,
Yeah, no, that absolutely makes sense. And this one I'll do it just because he probably should get drafted. I will take Rondale Robinson.
He's like not even on my board.
I don't give one crap about Rondale Robinson, even a little bit, but I'm going to take it because respect to short man that is my height, guys. My height in the NFL. It's not a good thing.
Right. All right. I'm going to go Hassan Haskins just because who knows with Derrick Henry, maybe he gets hit with the injury bug at the spry age of, what is he, 28, 29 this year. So I think Haskins just has the body to be the big body back in Tennessee, and they need that if anything were to happen to Derrick Henry.
Yep, I am with you. All right, 312 here. There's just so many names that I don't like.
Kyron?
No, never. Never Kyron Williams. I do not care about Kyron Williams.
You're going to really draw out this last pick.
I am going to take I'm taking Tyquan Thornton. Again, I don't think he's actually good. There has to be someone out there to catch the ball in New England, and maybe he's the best one. Who knows? Jacoby Myers is good, not great.
But he wouldn't fill the same role as Jacoby, so it doesn't even matter that Jacoby, I think, is good.
It's not even that though. I mean, the targets are still finite. But they needed speed. They got speed in the second round. It was a head scratching pick, but they made it. So I will follow the draft capital and cut him into next season.
Yeah, he could emerge as their wide receiver 1, which is the craziest thing.
Right. All right, guys. That is there the nameplates are. That is our Superflex rookie mock draft. Next week we'll be doing the same thing, maybe with a 1 QB draft. It's pretty easy to see how this one would go in a 1 QB.
Just take out the QBs completely.
We might do it for the clicks though. Who knows? All right, guys. Check out the Patreon page again. Link is in the bio. As always, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.